And here we go, part two. All right, so I'm such a just a I'm just such a mushy heart. I love watching love stories, rom-com, things like that. And mm, okay. And I've noticed during the summer just kind of here and there, and I'd watch some things and it would just pull at my heart. And oh, sorry y'all, it's so unladylike. um I would get a little misty eyed, and I'm trucking along, just living life, just doing me, just whatever. But I got still long enough to realize that something was missing. And I'm good, I'm good. I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna wait to, once I be able to get to a certain point in my life, I'll be able to do what I really want to do, or, just whatever. So, got in the car one day and I was just like, okay, I'm just talking to God. I'm like, okay, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna admit it. All right, just okay, God, I am actually, I am actually lonely. I miss being loving and loved on and, just, all that stuff, whatever. And I'm like, I know that, you know, if something were to come along, I would have to be completely transparent. And I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, trying to tell someone, hey, this is what my situation is. Like, that would definitely turn people away, I mean, because who in this society, how many people are honest about still living with an ex, and and there's no feelings, there's no sex involved, and how many people in this day and age are actually honest about those types of things? Probably not a whole lot. So I accepted the fact that that would turn people away. But I'm still talking to God about it, right? So, and let me say this, because it was brought up, oh, well, you wouldn't be open and honest with me, but you would be open and honest with such and such. Such and such opened my eyes up to who I was and showed me a different way of life. Honestly, introduced me to speaking positivity and things into existence. I felt safe to be myself with such and such. With you, I didn't, such and such showed me that I could trust them. Of course, with me being completely myself, 100%. With you, there was stipulations. I didn't feel trust. I didn't feel that I could trust you. You didn't fully trust me. So, come on. Come on. And so, in me being who I am now, transparency, communication, building trust, that's all I'm about. He blew that bridge up a long time ago, because when I was younger, my intuition would tell me things are up. And when I would go seek, I would find every time. And he would gaslight me. And I would let things go. I would just wanting to believe him. So there were times where I would also ignore my intuition. Fast forward all these years later, I would not. So when I feel it, I just know. And I just know that I couldn't trust him anymore. without trust, there is no love. I heard that 20 something years ago. And for whatever reason, I held on to that quote in my mind. And it just makes a lot of sense. Without trust, there's no love. Like, come on, man. We haven't told each other we loved each other in, I don't even know. It's been well over a year. Well over a year and a half. We did still used to do the nice things, buy each other. See, my love language is buying gifts. And whenever he got mad, then he didn't want to have nothing to do with gifts. Okay, that's fine. His love language was acts of service. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Acts of service. But anyways, I'm getting off the topic. So yeah, so back in the car, I had this. We talked about it in a video, so it was not too long ago. And I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, last weekend, I was invited to 2 places, and I knew that he was going to start acting funny about me going out, because I am a homebody. After a certain point, I want to get home. I want to get in my robe. I don't go anywhere, and I'm pretty much just a homebody. And so, it's easy for him to keep tabs on me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not having fun. I've been telling myself, was it earlier this year? Took myself out on a brunch date. I had been telling myself that I need to start getting out. But funds, because, I'm the breadwinner, and, whenever he pays his side, whenever he pays his side of the rent, I was paying 3 phone bills. Well, I still am. Well, anyways, 3 phone bills, electricity, a car note. I had a lot of bills that I was paying. And do you think that, I would have to say, hey, I need help with electricity. Can you help with electricity? Instead of just being over here. He, this year, went through 2 jobs, now has a 3rd one. It seemed like he would always lose a job around the same time. Like I said, I've been carrying the family financially since 2020. Especially with even after we decided to, okay, let's try to do this again. I was still on my bullshit. I was still, but even then, I was still handling my business, taking care of the bills. Rent wasn't getting paid late until he came around. Earlier this year, lost a job on unemployment, door dashing, probably borrowing money from my dad to get rent paid, but he made sure we were barely eating. No, he wouldn't make sure. He wasn't making sure of that, but we were barely eating, barely have food in the house. But one thing for sure he was doing was having his domino dates. That's a nice way to put it, because, let me ask you a question. What group of men do you know play dominoes till like 4 o'clock in the morning? I'll wait. And I realized just this year that playing dominoes was a cover. He had been doing this for many years. That's how much I just, that's just, it didn't hit me. I would get a little suspicious, but I'm just like, playing dominoes, okay, till 4 o'clock in the morning, okay, all right, cool. cool. But he made sure he had his domino dates, that he had his cigarettes, that he had his liquor, and we barely had food in the house at times. I'm like, why don't you, when he had his job that was cutting hours, why don't you go get a second job? You want to demand all this respect as a man. A man makes sure that there's food in the house, that the kids are provided for, so there won't be any issues, as a man. But again, remind you, this man makes sure that that he's good, that his backwood is cracking it because he don't have an ass. Chill out. Is covered. I would always say go get a second job. There was one summer where I actually was working 7 days a week because I had to work 2 jobs. And it got to a point where I was coming home with swollen ankles, swollen feet, swollen legs. If you really gave a damn about me, if you really cared, you'd be like, what, I hate that you happen to do this. I mean, at least I can do, let me rub your feet, let me rub your legs. I would have to ask. And then even when I had to ask, sometimes it was like kind of like pulling teeth. Okay. I would say go get a second job. Why don't you go look for a job? He was at the point, he had the audacity to be trying to turn down jobs. He was like, old boy on, I can't remember his name, but on Christmas Vacation, the cousin that was holding out for the management position. That was him. Turning down jobs, holding out for the management position. Got a job, and word on the street is he quit. He complained about getting the job, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's better than having no job, right? He actually lost his car earlier this year. You didn't have to. All you had to do was go get a second job. When you was collecting unemployment, all you had to do was go actually look for an actual job. Mind you, I've saved his car from repossession once, twice, at least once. I think I did. Was it twice? And I didn't have to. That year that I did that, I was like, I ain't about to do nothing. I'm about to keep this money for my kids and do what I need to do for them. I was like, no. Go ahead and help him. So I did it. I was being obedient to the Most High, and I saved his car from repossession. So this year I said I refuse. Or matter of fact, I didn't realize it because I didn't really get into his affairs because that was between him and his mother. So one day he had it, the next minute he didn't. I really don't know if he was blindsided by the repossession or what. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, so this second job that I would say quit complaining, be grateful. And then even then, still barely making ends meet, go get a second job with DoorDash. We're still barely eating. He would DoorDash to just go get gas, or DoorDash to get food just for the night, and yeah. There were times where I would go ask my dad for money for groceries. I mean, could I do that? Yes, I could, but I mean, not that I guess maybe it's a pride thing. If I asked my dad, he'd have no problem, but it's like, come on, man. Like, you demand this respect as a man, but why? I'm pretty much the breadwinner and pretty much having to hold it down. as the head of the household. So why? He claims he lost his job because they fired him for having a doctor's note because he missed 3 days. But isn't it where if you miss 3 days, you gotta have a doctor's note, right? You should be protected, right? Word, not word on the street, but word in the hood is he quit. Usually when you get fired, don't you have a short check? I actually saw his last check stub. It was a full check. He knew exactly what he was doing. So I believe wholeheartedly the word in the hood is that he actually quit. Doing a little DoorDash, Domino's, making sure he have his liquor and his cigarettes, and he always makes sure that he has, and it just be too many times we have to go to my parents' house just to eat. So yeah. Then he got this new job. Started complaining about that. And this is actually a pretty decent job. And still complaining about it. Okay, well, you know what? I said, you know what happened the last time I told you quit complaining, right? So last weekend, got invited out, and I met someone. Really didn't think too much of it. Didn't know. I'm like, just, I ain't gonna lie. I was scared because oh my God, I just literally talked to God about this, and bam, okay. And the interaction was, I was very, very comfortable. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna give this a try, because I'm not gonna say I'm difficult to talk to upon meeting, but I'm just, I ain't got time. So I let them know what my situation was. I let them know that I am a woman of my word. I let them know, just everything out on the table. So that way there wouldn't be no secrets, that there would be anyone getting blindsided. Give this person the opportunity to decide, okay, well, to say it was nice meeting you, and keep it pushing. So fast forward to a couple of days ago, okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything right away because, again, we're still just talking, and I'm just trying to see, like, there is, I don't want to say opposites attract, but they're Christian. They know what I do, and the things that come with me, and it's created conversation. And so I was like, oh. So but then they asked me, okay, well, do you want to grab like a light dinner? I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, this is a date. So I'm not dating, but it's a date. And the night before, well, anyways, so I can't remember what day it was. I wanted to tell my ex-husband, hey, I'm talking to someone. Just be grown. Just let's talk. I'm talking to someone. Um, we're going out on a date. I just want you to know, because I told you when this came, I was going to let you know. And do y'all know, it just wasn't easy for me the night that I was like, okay, I need to tell him. It wasn't easy. And I felt bad. So I didn't say anything. So the next morning, we had words, and got off the phone. But then I called her back and I say, hey, we'll on in the spirit of whatever. Look, I ain't trying to argue, I ain't trying to throw nothing up in your face. But I'm talking to someone. And he quickly dismissed it, whatever, I don't care, whatever, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. He said, you know what, I am not jealous of you going out, being happy, whatever, is your life, and I don't have no feelings, for, what did he say, for you got to have feelings to care. And I'm just like, all right, cool. So we get off the phone. So last night, and I'm talking to this person, and I made sure that I'm not in the same room. I'm not trying to just to not be in his face. I made sure I was away. So last night, I guess he decided that he wanted to eavesdrop and got his feelings hurt. He comes in the room and says, I need to talk to you. Can you get off the phone? So I get off the phone. And then he goes into saying that he's not against me, this, that, or whatever, but what I'm doing is disrespectful. Mind you, I heard this before. This was in 2020 when it was in my own apartment, and he was over for, I don't even know what he was over there for. Something for the kids, I guess. I can't remember. I'm talking to the person that I was talking to in my bedroom without him around. And he comes in and says, you're being disrespectful. You're talking to such and such while I'm in the house. You don't pay rent here. You don't pay the electricity here. You don't pay not a one damn phone bill here. I do what the fuck I want to do in my house that I pay bills in. We're not even together. Just like how we're not together now. We're not even together. You're not going to put stipulations on my happiness and what I do. Just because you're in your feelings and you're miserable and you're upset that I'm happy and moving on with my life. So he says that shit last night, and I'm just like, wow. And here I was feeling bad last night because I didn't know how to tell you this. Still being concerned for your feelings. You're not going to tell me we're not together. I am single. I have been single for a year. And so for you to say in order for you to care, you gotta, what is it? You got to have feelings to care. Well, apparently you do care because you feel like you're getting disrespected. If I was disrespecting you, this is what it would look like. I would be very open, well, just flamboyant in what I was doing. I, out of respect for you, made sure that I was not within earshot when I was having these conversations. He claims, oh, well, I knew something was going on because when I came into the living room, you got off the phone. No, don't give yourself that much credit. It just happened to actually be convenient that I was getting off the phone with the person. So trust me now. Mm-mm. You cared enough to observe and to eavesdrop in my conversation last night and got your feelings hurt. You didn't have to eavesdrop. You did all this hollering and screaming. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So after in the car admitting, what I admit to last week, after picking him up from work, we had a conversation in the car. I, in so many different ways, had said many times that we need to find a way to peacefully, separate, whatever, to where it's convenient for us. All right, cool. We need to figure out how to get away from each other. All right, cool. I said I will be the one to leave because any other time it's always been you. But it was always you making sure that you covered your ass and you got out of Dodge. So we had that understanding last week or week before. I can't remember which one it was. So fast forward again to last night. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I'll leave. I said I was going to leave, so I'll leave. It's not going to be tomorrow, but I'll figure it out. I gave this bitch made dude too much credit. It was too much right for him to do the right thing. So my daughter came in from college yesterday. So she was here today when he got off work, called his mama, and packed his shit up, and he left. I just knew it was too much. I gave his ass too much fucking credit. So what does he do? If that ain't one bitch made dude, he does what he does best, which is that. You couldn't even be a fucking man and tell me, you know what? I'm not with it. I'm just gonna pack my shit up and leave. I was willing to leave. And I'm like, you know what? You can keep the washer and dryer. Y'all are gonna need it. Mind you, he didn't provide nothing in this apartment. My dad helped us move into this apartment. My mom voluntarily paid for the washer and dryer. She's like, y'all don't need a washer and dryer. I'm gonna pay for a washer and dryer. That's just what I come from. That's how my family do. That's just how I do. He didn't really come from much, but he didn't have much. The necklace that he wears, I bought him 2. Did I buy him 2? 1, 2? Either way, the one that he got now, I bought it. He left one here. The shoes I bought him, some nice shoes. He left them here. That's how he do. He get mad. He leave his shit, and he leave his junk. He never has the decency to ever just clean his shit up and actually leave something the way he found it. But anyways, gave him way too much fucking credit. So that just lets you know what type of person he is, the type of person that he's been. Always looks out for number one. And I made sure that I let my kids know that. And I didn't say anything that wasn't true. Basically said that, you know what? He didn't pack this stuff up and he got out of Dodge. Well, in so many ways, I didn't say that, but he packed up his stuff and he has left. We had agreed that I was going to be the one to leave, but instead, he chose to try to sneak out the house and leave. And what else did I say? Nothing too bad. And then he goes, "Oh, well, one thing I won't do is talk bad about you to the kids." I didn't say anything bad. I spoke facts. You are being a deadbeat. You haven't even paid your portion of rent. And this is what you do. Rent will be due next Friday because of the payment arrangement that you made, because you always pay rent late, your portion of rent late. I have mine ready to go. You always pay rent late. So, yeah. This is what you do. So, this ain't nothing new to me. This is just, you know what? All right. I am good. Always have been. Always will be. This is something I am not brand new to. This is what you do. You cover your ass and then you leave. You grab your shit. You don't even be man enough to stand to me and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." So, I guess that's why I ain't gonna say that. Not gonna say that, because that would be petty. Even in this moment, when I could be petty and I could talk trash, I still don't. Given the reason, given the very, you give me reasons, and yet I still don't. So when my daughter told me this at work today, I called him. He didn't answer, which was expected. And I left him a voicemail. I didn't holler. I didn't curse. I did call him a deadbeat. And in the end, I wished him a nice life. Because you know what? For me to get upset and act out of character, how is that going to change? How is that going to change anything? It's not. Get bent up and out of shape for what? Because for what? This is something you know that he is capable of doing. He couldn't handle the fact that I'm moving on with my life and felt like he was out of control. So he felt like, okay, well, I'm going to gain control by leaving. So now, oh, well, good luck on moving on with your life, and you're going to have to figure how to hold down the household by yourself. Okay. I mean, it was what it was. We were basically financially dependent on each other with the rent. It is what it is. You bailed. It's all good. I thought, we would figure out how to do, go about it that was convenient for us, but you couldn't even hold up your end of the bargain on that. But it's all good, Like I said, this ain't nothing new. You've done this before. Dang, I don't know, ran over my 30 minutes and I don't know if this cut off. Oh my God. So I'm gonna keep going. But anyways, so I still had my light dinner date, and it was nice. Still haven't put a label on anything. Still learning, still talking, and we're going to see where this goes. What y'all were supposed to get from this, I don't know. But I don't know. I know I had been avoiding talking about my situation. Maybe it was because of for today, but again, what was what do you what does anyone gain from me talking about my shitty ass ex-husband who, does what he does, right? I don't know. I guess do with this information what you will. But I'm happy. I don't know if this person is my answered prayer, but I'm willing to explore to find out. So maybe you'll get from, hey, you send one up, you look yourself in the mirror and you say the hard things that you have to say. God hears you. He feels your heart and he moves. Because it wasn't too long I was just talking about this, and then here comes this person out of the blue. So I don't know. Be encouraged, because I'm going to be encouraged. I know everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. I have never been abandoned in these situations by God. And I expect that and even again in this situation, that I won't be abandoned. So I'm going to stay in that perfect peace, or as close to perfect as I can.